Folks, today is Friday, October 6th, 2023. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. We got a jam-packed week, of course. I always say that. I gotta come up with something better to say. Hey, everybody, sorry. I don't know. Now, a lot of news to talk about, so let's just jump in. The first thing is really just a fun thing, just some video eye candy, if you will. We always talk about like the future of graphics here and stuff like that. So check out this fun little concept video from the development studio behind Bright Memory Infinite. You may remember this game from like a year or so back. Flashy first-person shooter with some really crazy graphics. Not like the craziest or greatest game in the world, but, you know, it was a thing. Well, now the studio just kind of put together a fun project. This YouTube video, which I linked in the description down below, as well as everything else I talk about, you can check it out. It's called Secluded Orchid. According to them, this is 3D scenes roughly generated in 2 hours with over 5,000 8K photos. And then from there, they made high-quality 3D models, put that in Unreal Engine 5, and then with Unreal Engine 5 for 15 days or so, used it to make the arms, the controls, animate the cutscenes, and kind of come up with a UI. And this is their first project where they used motion capture, and like in the description, if you want to check it out, they describe how that works with Unreal. What you see here is really gorgeous. It's just a very quick little first-person experience with somebody investigating something. It's a little mysterious, a little spooky, but it's gorgeous. The environments are nuts. When the character brings up a smartphone, the reflection on the smartphone screen is convincing in an odd way. It's just cool, man. Again, this isn't like a playable game or anything like that, but it's another example of just showing what people are making with modern tool sets, with game engines like Unreal Engine 5, maybe Unity. I mean, Unity has walked back some of that stuff, some of those mistakes that they made that we've talked about in a couple weeks back. I don't know what is going to be the deal with that, but for now, just another taste at what video game graphics could possibly be. Also, another quick story worth highlighting, Black Ops 6 kind of leaked, maybe. You can judge for yourself. Take the leak or rumor with a grain of salt. I'll have that linked down below as well. But a kind of cryptic tease by a data miner with like a bunch of numbers kind of alludes to Black Ops 6 because it seems like it's a leak for the next game's maps, and one of the maps kind of points to an old Black Ops Zombies map. So a lot of people are taking this to suggest after Modern Warfare 3, the next one is Black Ops 6. Are you starting to lose track? I certainly am. But we'll see if that is actually the case. But it is worth pointing out that as of right now, Modern Warfare 3 is the next one, and the next Fest event is going on. We're recording this a little bit earlier, so I will link that if there's any new information about that, if you're still interested in Call of Duty. So, yeah. Remember the Call of Duty with Kevin Spacey? That was weird. Don't make a face. Oh man, we didn't really get to talk about this last week because it popped off right after the show went live, but something is up with Kotor. Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic has hit peak internet speculation again, because of some things, some delistings, some deleted tweets. The trailer has been delisted from YouTube, and people have had some concerns. When reached out to Sony for a comment, I think it was like last Friday night, Sony did come back saying, hey, it's a normal part of the process. We do this with music licensing stuff, but we don't usually see it on this scale, and we don't see it with something like a Star Wars product. A lot of people online are interpreting this as, the company's kind of scrubbing any reference or info towards a Knights of the Old Republic remake. Along with that, it's the fact that for the last few years now, this game has been pretty troubled with development, like pretty much after it was announced. Leadership changes, writing changes, development studio changes, and now it's in the whole Embracer Group thing because it was being done by Aspire or Aspir, however they spell it. Yeah, the problem is we've talked about like Embracer Group has been playing fast and loose with investments and then not having investments, and then they had bought all these companies and now they're starting to lay them off and sell them off. So it isn't looking very good for the Knights of the Old Republic remake. If there are still people working on it to this day, I definitely wish them the best. I would love to see something, but
bummer, right?
Total bummer. I don't know what's going to happen. So you'll have to just keep your eyes peeled. We'll give you whatever info we hear, of course. But thankfully, we will always have the original, incredible Knights of the Old Republic. It's going nowhere. It's fantastic. I wasn't even sure how it could be remade in terms of like modern Star Wars and gameplay sensibility. I don't know, but original's still out there and it's perfect. Love Revan. Love Revan and Malik. Bastila, the whole gang. Hey, next up, this video is sponsored by Factor. Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved meals right to your doorstep. It is literally clean eating made easy. I've been recommending an eating Factor for a long time now, and it's because it makes everything so easy. They show up right at your door. There's 2 minutes in the microwave and you're ready to go. You don't have to think about buying groceries, meal prepping, anything like that. It's just good eats right away. You can choose your boxes and they have a variety of different things to choose from, and everybody is covered from meat eaters to vegan and veggie options. But right now for autumn, they have fall flavors like cranberry pecan chicken, apple Dijon pork chops. It's just good stuff. And in the busy game season when I'm running around like crazy working and grinding through games, having meals figured out for me is nice. So you want to check it out? Well, just click the link in the description down below or head to factor75.com and use code Gameranx50 for 50% off your first Factor box. That's good eats. That's a good hookup. So again, that's factor75.com, code Gameranx50. Go get some num-nums, and big thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video. Next up, we got a lot of cool stuff to share. First, there's some demos worth pointing out. The first is Another Crab's Treasure. There's a Steam demo out now for that. You might be like, what's that? Well, it's a game where you play as a little cartoon crab, but it's a Souls-like. It doesn't make any sense, but it seems like people are enjoying it. Also, for me personally, the #1 Robocop fan in the YouTube gaming world, not Skill Up, me, there's a demo out for Robocop Rogue City on Steam. It's I'm mixed. I want to reserve judgment when I play the final game, which we will be doing when that finally drops in November. But if you want to check it out now and see what's going on in the early part of the game, you can do that. Also, just announced, Nintendo announced a Animal Crossing Lego collab. Yeah, this looks so cool. You know, if you're like me and you still love buying toys, just wanted to share that little happiness for some Nintendo fans. It's pretty cool stuff. Also, I wanted to link something good. I wanted to link some reading, some homework. I always say, I'm trying to bring this back, how, we talk about games all day, all the time, you and me, online. You might as well be well read up on them. So here is a great piece on the making of Fable 2. This is on The Gamer, and it's a really fantastic piece. It's a lot of oral history from the actual people who worked on the game. So yeah, if you're looking for a weekend long read, there you go. But also in terms of new releases, we've got Assassin's Creed Mirage, which I have played through, and you guys know I was excited for this one as a kind of old school Assassin's Creed fan since the first one. And this isn't quite it. It feels like it doesn't really please either the old school fans or the new school fans. It kind of is wishy-washy in between with a pretty weak story and just some weird elements. I'm glad that it does embrace stealth at the very least, but I thought it was just kind of all right. I might be in the minority. I just think it's okay where some of the review scores are a little higher, but that's just me. You can judge it for yourself, but I will link our video in the description down below. Also this week, at least if you buy into the early access period, is the new Forza Motorsport with some good online modes, obviously crazy graphics, and kind of a revamped or tweaked progression model. We're going to be checking that out and hopefully getting something out on that soon, but yeah. Also, some cool updates. The fact that, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is on Steam now. So yeah, that was my horrible Superman rendition, but this is a big deal. Number one, like obviously it's like one of my favorite games ever. But the fact that it has new life on PC, it wasn't on PC. This is great. But also, hopefully, the modding community can get to this and just gut it and make something even crazier. Because the Thug Pro community out there has done some really great stuff. So I really hope that Tony Hawk 1 and 2 can live on PC, on the internet. Maybe somebody can cobble together a 3 and 4 remake with some maps. I don't know. I want to see something though. Also, credit where credit is due. Rockstar did go back and update the PS4 port new release of Red Dead Redemption from like a month back. It now supports 60 FPS on PlayStation 5. It should have at the start, really, but at the very least, it does now. I still think like how much money they were asking for that simple port is kind of rough. But at the very least, if you did buy into it, now you can play at 60 FPS on PS5. But some cool news that came out of nowhere is Cyberpunk is going live action. Yeah, I figured it was like at this point, going to happen with it becoming such a big hot property. They just announced that Cyberpunk has sold like 25 million units or something like that, something crazy. But along with that, they also announced that they are going live action, specifically with production company Anonymous Content, who is behind stuff like some True Detective and Mr. Robot. So that's pretty cool. We don't know if this is going to be like a movie or a TV series or anything like that, but that was just a little bit of nugget of news to come out that some people are really excited about. Personally, I want a Cyberpunk Edge Runners season 2 or something. I thought that anime was very good. But that's just me, and that's really the news from this week. There is a lot going on. There are a lot of games that are out, releasing, or released a couple weeks, months back. So I want to know from you guys in the pinned comment down below what you're playing this weekend for our research so we can cater our videos to you. Of course, you've probably heard that a million times by now. That's been the spiel. But I also want to know what you guys are thinking about the news this week. Did you jump into Assassin's Creed Mirage? Are you excited about a possible live-action Cyberpunk thing? Obviously, I think the lore, the world definitely lends itself to something, but maybe you got a hot take on what's going on with the Knights of the Old Republic remake or some of that fancy, flashy graphic stuff we talked about at the start. Let's talk about any of this stuff, really, down in the comments. Of course, we'll be down there as much as possible, but things do get a little chaotic, get a little crazy, so if you want to yell at me directly, find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino, the podcast I do with my friends called Friends Per Second, but that's it. So let me know what you're thinking. But if you like this video and you like what we do here every single Friday, we just get you caught up on the news real quick. Clicking the like button does legit help us. Thank you. But that's it. That's all I got for you. I'm Jake Baldino. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Pizza's on me.